thoughts about the 2024 Mercedes AMG GLA 35. Smallest AMG crossover is an odd proposition, but still tons of fun. 2024 Mercedes AMG GLA 35. View 29 photos. When you look up and down the AMG range these days, it's hard not to think of the 2024 Mercedes AMG GLA 35 as the absolute bottom of the rung next to the GLB 35. That's because it is. But no hard feelings, because even the most basic of AMGs is fun to drive. Course. Just because the car is legitimately capable doesn't mean I don't feel a little foolish tooling around in a subcompact crossover with 302 horsepower and a massive wing hanging off its trailing edge. There's a little more to unpack here than just pure performance, though, because Mercedes refreshed its little GLA this year with a lot of nice upgrades, alongside some questionable ones. Styling is massaged. The powertrain adds a 48-volt mild hybrid system, and the interior is the same, but slightly worse than before. Let's get into it. 1. You should know this thing costs $73,460. Was slightly beside myself upon first looking at the sticker for this GLA 35. How could such a tiny SUV cost so much, and how could it only be the 35? Keep in mind, there was an AMG 45 version that ramped up performance to frankly hilarious levels, but it's missing in action post-refresh. All that said, the base price of this little GLA 35 is just $56,450, so if you don't want to pay absurd money for it, you don't have to. 2. On the other hand, you need to fork out some cash for these seats. The $3,250 AMG performance seats plus package nets you seats that put most buckets in serious sports cars to shame. Combined with the $1,450 classic red leather. These seats will make anyone's jaw drop when they first open the door. Just isn't congruent with the rest of the car. They're plenty comfortable for a long highway trip, yet hold you in with such impressive grip when you start pushing some G-forces. On top of that, they're heated, cooled, have adjustable bolsters and fully powered. This level of aggressiveness in a GLA 35 is admittedly silly, but I can't help but love these buckets. 3. It's kind of a mini riot to drive. 2.0-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder combined with the super close ratio 8-speed dual-clutch automatic is a diabolical combo. Shifts with such rapidity that I would almost always drive around in manual mode, because you stay busy with the paddles. Third gear is necessary to hit 60 in 5.1 seconds, according to Mercedes. And each upshift is met with a beefy pop. Lean into the throttle, and you get a load of turbo spool and intake hilarity. The exhaust isn't anywhere near as raucous as the 45, but I could hardly care. This little 4-cylinder is one of the most characterful 2.0-liter turbos money can buy, and this DCT is the most perfect way to experience all it can offer. 4. The mild hybrid system works like a charm. Mercedes claims you get a 13 horsepower boost under certain driving conditions, though I'm most impressed with the GLA's seamless start-stop system. Smaller, less refined cars like the GLA tend to have a rough and sometimes unseemly start-stop system, but not here. Can cruise around in comfort mode, just puttering around town and be in total peace. Even rides respectably thanks to the AMG Ride Control adaptive dampers that come standard on the car. 5. You just need to trust it in corners. The amount of roll in comfort mode is a touch off-putting for an AMG model, but twist the dial up to Sport Plus, and the GLA 35 flattens out. Sticks to the road and boogies. It's fitted with Continental Sport Contact Summer rubber that adheres to the pavement beautifully, allowing this little crossover, 3,653 pounds, to be more composed and unwavering through corners than you might have thought possible. There's a lack of feedback from the steering, requiring you to trust the car and the tires, but it quickly starts to feel like a slightly bloated and taller hot hatch. Went into my handling test loop expecting mediocrity, but I left it with a smile and exceeded expectations. 6. No more touchpad for infotainment control. Check out this big, blank, useless space in prime center console real estate. You might be wondering, what the hell? This large rubber pad of sorts is what Mercedes chose to lay down since it removed the touchpad for infotainment controls. It was a touchscreen prior to this refresh, but now it's exclusively controlled via a touchscreen. Just can't help but think of this as a big downgrade in both usability and aesthetics. Redundant touchpad controls make a ton of sense with this style of screen playing MBUX, since there's always so much scrolling and swiping involved. Mercedes' latest, zero-layer, MBUX system works fine as touch only, but there's no selling this as anything but a downgrade. Plus, the big rubber pad in place of the instruments is essentially useless with anything you set there left to fly around the cabin the minute you accelerate. Go around a corner. 7. Is it weird that I like how it looks? The $1,550 AMG aerodynamics package is pulling a lot of weight here, but I can't help but be charmed by this little egg of a hot hatch. Its big wing, front splitter, flicks and diffuser are all undeniably a bit childish. That said, I could tell this car drew more stares than any GLA 35 has a right to. Perhaps they were stares of astonishment at how silly I look, but whatever. This aero package with these 20-inch wheels are a combo meant to draw attention. The only thing that could add to it is a paint color more exciting than this mountain gray metallic. Could I suggest manufacture Patagonia red metallic? 8. Struggling to find this car's niche. Who buys a mildly hot hatch with only middling luxury chops and good, but not great performance for over $70,000? The GLA, so utility-minded buyers should find better use with the boxy GLB. And if you really want a fun-to-drive, cheap AMG, I'd suggest the CLA 35 over this one in a heartbeat. Maybe it'd be a great car for well-to-do parents to send their car enthusiast kid off to college in. Can take it to snowy climates with the all-wheel drive. Up those seats down, no kids yet, for solid storage space and have a ton of fun zapping up and down the gears when you leave campus. That's just one weird example, though. And I'm sure the actual buyers will end up in a 35 because they were interested in a small Mercedes crossover and had a little extra money to afford the payment on the AMG version. Thankfully, this AMG Light is still characterful enough to bear the Affalterbach badge and not make a fool of itself.